Chair recognizes Representative Gonzalez.
Members, as most of you know, because I've talked about this before, I have over 163 colonias in my district. And this bill primarily addresses some of the situations we've had with colonias. We've been doing a lot of positive work to stop the continuous spread of colonias. We want to continue that positive work. El Paso County Attorney and the El Paso County Judge are against this bill, even with the amendments, because it still stops us from really helping the people who we're trying to help who live in these colonias. We have over 2,900 colonias in Texas with over 40,000 people living in them.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Will the gentleman yield?
Will you yield, Ms. Guillen?
Yes.
Now,
Thank you. Representative Guillen, although those people testified, those people are not representative of all the people that live along the border. Is that correct?
They represent people on the border. Most of those organizations represent people on the border.
But they do not fully understand some of the issues that are specific to the issues that are specific to colonias. Is that correct?
I wouldn't be able to answer what they understand or what they don't understand.
Okay, but is it safe to say that the issues that affect colonias are very specific in nature? I mean, colonias are a completely different. They're a completely different subsection and a subdivision and a completely different zoning issue altogether than, say, other subdivisions that pop up throughout the state. Is that correct?
They're developments like any other development in the state. A colonia is one that has that is underdeveloped, particularly some that were built back in the 70s and 80s and really before the 90s, and so that's what a colonia is.
And these colonias have problems with infrastructure, they have problems with getting running water, they have problems with electricity, and a lot of times unscrupulous developers come in and may sell lots to individuals that they think they are buying, but do not in fact will not actually own the title free and clear because it actually belongs to someone else. Is that often the case? Is that correct?
It's not often the case. It used to be the case quite often, though, back before the mid-90s.
But this has been the case in the past, and in some cases continues to be the case, correct?
In few cases, yes.
And because of work that has been done here in past sessions through the work of Representative Marquez and some other individuals, we have made great strides to ensure the health and safety of individuals living in the colonias have taken place. Is that correct?
Particularly the model subdivision rules that were passed back in the 90s.
And in the 2000 and in the 81st legislative session too, when Representative Marquez made strict codes for health and safety issues, that also made great strides for the colonias as well. Is that not correct?
There was very strict health and safety measures that were put in those laws back in the 90s.
And so that improves the standard of living for the individuals in the colonias, correct?
It just was something that made sure was happening.
And as Representative Gonzalez just mentioned, when you have an area and in a county, as some of us along the border do, that have colonias in there, when you have a bill that may reduce the amount of time that builders have to cure, and when you have earnest money contracts going into these builders that may still be unscrupulous builders, this creates a problem for innocent buyers that may not know what is going into these homes that are being built for them. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. The amendment that I took from Terry Canales took out earnest money contracts, anything that dealt with earnest money contracts. So it now has nothing to do with earnest money contracts.
Okay, and now the time frame to cure, is that still at 90 days?
It's at 30 days under the amendment.
Okay, all right. But you don't want to have El Paso bracketed out of this particular bill, even though...
I'm okay with bracketing El Paso out, but that's not what this amendment does.
Okay, and so explain to the rest of the members what this amendment does one more time.
It brackets out of the bill everything. Every county of any size. That's what this amendment that's in front of us does. Well, she had. Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Moody,
will the gentleman yield for some questions?
we're having a discussion just a minute. Mr. Moody, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for some questions?
Yield, Ms. Guillen? He yields.
So you're not opposed to the members from El Paso advocating for our community, making sure that we aren't subjected to a bill that our community doesn't agree with. You would not have a problem with us being bracketed out of this bill.
Right. Y'all need to advocate for whoever you need to advocate for. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's not what this bill,
Well, I
what this
don't think.
amendment does.
Well, I mean, I think Representative Gonzalez went to Ledge Council. The issue of whether something's bracketed in or out is not a matter of opinion. It is a fact that's going to be laid out in the bill. So I would hope that we can make sure, because your intent is not to put this on El Paso if we want to be bracketed out, correct?
That's correct. But nor will I accept this amendment.
Even if we fix it? Even if we fix it, you won't accept the amendment?
Because if you fix the amendment, that would be fine. But
So
there doesn't seem to be the want to fix the amendment over here.
There being 50 ayes, 71 nays. House Bill 611 fails to pass to third reading.